Jonathan Majors, from red carpet to handcuffs. If you're a successful person, you're on the come up, you need to watch the lessons I'm going to give you in this video. They're going to be crucial to your survival. Also, if you're not that successful, but you're working really hard and you plan on being successful in your life, you need to understand these lessons here because they're crucial and no one else will teach you these lessons anywhere else in the world. If you've been following the news, here is a brother who has recently gotten very popular. Last week, he was #1 in the box office with 2 Hollywood franchises. One for Creed 3, and the other one was Ant-Man from Marvel. Now, he may have lost his temper. We don't know. We don't have the details. We don't know what happened. But now he is fighting for his life to avoid jail and the loss of his career due to the drama that he had in a relationship. This video is going to be for anybody that is on the come up in their life. It's about status, okay? And maybe you don't have all the status you want, but you've achieved some results in your life. Some area of your life you have success in. Maybe it's your career, you're really happy about that, or your fitness, you've got down to 12% body fat and you're hitting the gym for 6 months. Maybe you've done really well in your passion, you're a music, you're an artist of some kind. You haven't got that record deal yet, but you've got a distribution partner. Or you're somebody who's done just well financially, Forex, trading, Bitcoin, whatever, you're just on the come up and your status is rising. This video is for you. Now, if you're somebody that has not achieved all that, okay, I don't want to leave everybody out in the dark here. If you're on beginning parts of your life, if you're somebody that's 20 to 25, just getting your life together, this is also important for you because you're going to understand what to avoid. And if you're somebody that's on the other side of that, you're 30 to 35 years old, or even 40, and you have some success and status in your life, you're going to understand how to move correctly because nothing is worse than losing what you've built. It's easier to lose it. You can lose it in the blink of an eye, and it's so hard to build. So we have a video clip that came up by a guy, I think his name was Jamari. He's a YouTuber. I don't know him personally. I never spoke to him. And I want to play a clip of that right now because I think there's some interesting points that are made.
Is when the darkness is most susceptible to coming to get you. And recently, Jonathan Majors was arrested in New York on suspicion of strangulation and harassment during a domestic dispute. Say this all started when Jonathan himself called the police over the weekend, stating that his girlfriend was having an emotional crisis and he needed their help. But when those same cops showed up, the woman told them that he struck her during a taxi cab ride after she went to grab for his phone when she saw another woman texting him. Allegedly, she had a cut behind her ear and bruises on her face and neck. And so immediately when this news dropped, people were ready with their pitchforks to call for the end of this man's career, saying that he pretty much had the quickest fall off of all time. And basically it made me think of the Warren Buffett quote, "It takes 20 years to build a reputation and 5 minutes to ruin it." Keep in mind, this all went down Saturday. He was arrested, and then the very next day, his lawyer is now saying that this woman has recanted her claims and that there is video evidence of this incident, a witness, and that her client, Mr. Majors, is completely innocent. And not only that, but there is further evidence that he is the victim in this whole situation. And so as of right now, Mr. Majors has been set free, but he will have this upcoming trial date in May. But I will say, if he is guilty, then his career is pretty much a wrap. And if he's not guilty, and this woman is lying on his name, then I hope that she faces her day in court because no matter the verdict, his career will be permanently altered after this. And in the court of public opinion, he might never be seen the same again. For example, the army, who had spent tens of millions of dollars on ad campaigns centered around Jonathan Majors.
When you look into your future, do you see a life full of obstacles or possibilities?
Have already put that whole thing on pause.
Ladies and gentlemen, here's the fact of the matter. All this is over a phone call. So whoever you're around needs to understand the gravity of it. Something as simple as a phone call that they can use for revenge or to be spiteful can have an unwanted effect in your life and in their life. I believe there was a story the other week that came out. A man went to a strip club against his wife's wishes. She came home, made a TikTok video about it, and then he lost his job and he was the only income for that house, right? Same thing can happen from a phone call. If that person is the breadwinner, you lose the money. Where are you now? Of course, there's always things that can be done, but you got to understand the gravity of the situation. That's why it's so important to make the key choices to have the right people in your life. So we got a brother here. His name is O'Shea Duke Jackson. I don't know him personally, never met him, but I think he does great content. Shout out to the brother. I want to play a clip from what he's done here. So you can check it out. And if you haven't seen him before, be sure to go subscribe because it's great stuff.
But again, here you are as a guy with a lot to lose. Okay, let's say if you are cheating on your girlfriend and she's mad and tells on you. The key is this: nothing is going to happen to her. And again, we wouldn't be having this conversation so much if the guy wasn't successful. But he is. And many guys who are successful, guess what? Even though you might not be a celebrity, people are looking at you, man. All right? Anywhere you are in the world and you're black, you're a successful black man. People look for you. They're looking at you. And for whatever reason, if you put somebody in their place, tell them I'm gonna leave you or whatever else, somebody wants to make you pay.
Here's another thing too. You got to hang out with people that have an equal amount of something to lose. Too many of us hang out with people that are like, I hate to say this, but like lower than us, right? Not on the same level. They're not on the square with us. And if we hang out with people that are not on the same level, in that situation, we are the one that has something to lose. And often if it's the opposite sex, they have something to gain. Problem with that dynamic is they don't act like how you act. They're not thinking how you think. So if you hang out with people that has nothing to lose, you will be the one to lose very often from how they conduct themselves. It's wild how that happens.
Right? That's why when you have money and you have things going for yourself, you have to respond in such a way that is not the norm. This is what black men got to understand. Because things that wouldn't bother you when you were broke or wouldn't be such a big deal, when you get money, man, you get fame, everybody's looking at you. Everybody. And who you date matters. And it looks like he was trying to keep the lady a secret. There's no pictures of her. He's always been quite a private with his life. Look at what's going on now. And this is important, man. Every black man who's trying to be somebody, you're either one woman away from experiencing a lot of happiness or one woman away from experiencing a lot of pain. And again, be careful for what you wish for. A lot of guys are just not ready for what money brings or what fame brings. I don't care what your talent level says. Sometimes the money comes before your mental development. And even if, let's say, for example, if he hit her, definitely he's going to jail, right? But let's say for the fact that this is not true. Then you made a bad decision and judgment of being around somebody who doesn't even care about you, which hurts even more. Imagine you trust this lady, you're sleeping with her, you're probably talking about marriage, and your legal team is trying to fight this, saying that this is untrue. So hopefully that footage in the taxi will not come out as being false, right? And then you hope that you don't start getting canceled by women because of the fact that you're now considered a woman beater. But again, it goes back to a lot of guys who are just not ready for success, man. It's the truth. To be a man ready for the money when it comes in, it's number one, it's very new. You have friends probably in your category, and man, you have to do a lot of developing once you start getting money.
Here's the thing with men, specifically brothers, okay? With the melanin complexion. Here's the problem. Once we get notoriety, we do not know what to do with it. We don't know how to handle it. Now, I don't know if it's because a lot of the people in America come from slavery, so they don't have a background to those roots. They don't have connection to their culture, but we are really just like out of whack, man. It's not like any other community. In the Asian community, you grow up modest, learn how to play the violin or piano when you're younger. School is very important, and you learn how to move properly, right? In the Jewish community, they have a certain respect for each other. They keep the money in the community. They have an energy about them. But in the African American cultures, it doesn't seem to exist. I mean, even look at the music, right? In our music, we're the ones who glorify shooting and killing each other and selling drugs to our own communities. And those are our superheroes. There's no other culture that does that. It's really sad. Something everybody needs to understand here is that the circle that you keep around you can undo all the success and hard work you put in so far, right? Think of all these rappers that end up getting shot. I think Quavo from Migos got shot over a dice game that he was at. You're a multimillionaire. You're doing good. You have, I don't know if you get Grammys, but you got platinum selling albums, and you get messed up over a dice game. You had no business being there. I'm sorry for the brother and the family and people, but shouldn't be there in the first place, right? Or these basketball players who get in trouble, crazy amount of strip clubs, and they get in this thing, they lose their contract, and they can't be moving like that. Anybody that has been to jail, goodbye. Not in your circle. Anybody who has ex-boyfriend drama that's violent, no thank you, don't need you around. Anybody that's a drug dealer, so long, not in your circle. The people who came up with you, great. You want to support them? Amazing. But sometimes when they start causing problems, they mess up the bag, they can't be around you. Just because they come up with you doesn't mean they can stay with you. And you got to let them go, especially if you have melanin in your skin. I'll be straight up with you here, because a lot of people with melanin don't own the companies that we work for. We're stars in them. We're agents in them. But we didn't create them. And if you don't have the company, at the end of the day, the bottom line is you can't control the bag and you're nothing but an employee. That's what you are, right? You're not a boss, you're an employee. That's why bosses own what they have for hundreds of years in companies, and they don't give it up. Not even to shareholders, and they keep it in the family, right? Because you got to do that. So the advice I have for guys is be extra cautious about who you bring around you. Has to be a person that has no drama, that is peaceful, that collaborates with you, that has a nice feminine energy. Okay. And for the women, I'd say to you, if you want to get in these high status situations and relationships, there's usually a downside that's not discussed. If somebody's giving you a large amount of money, they expect you to be somewhere when they tell you to be there, on time. They want to control what you wear, what you're dressing in. They also want to control who your friends are as well, and who you're allowed to be friends with. This stuff very rarely goes spoken about. So it's usually not talked about, but it's the underside of these relationships, and you got to know the details before you get in it. So why am I sharing this in the video? It's not to be all smart and genius and uppity and show you that I'm better than you. That's not why I'm doing it. I'm showing it because I have a crazy amount of information, crazy amount of insight that's probably been gathered by less than 10 individuals in the world. I mean, the people that are more famous have better whatever than me. They don't have the experience of living in, 45 different cultures and experiencing the people and integrating myself in those cultures and learning to speak like roughly a little bit of 10 languages and stuff, just having relationships in those cultures. They don't understand this. They don't have it from a global perspective. So I have to give this information to the next generation of people, because if I don't give it, it will die with me. I'm trying to share it with you. I'm trying to mentor it into you for free. I'm trying to put you up on game of life and how things work so you can avoid the catastrophes, or you can strategize for yourself and the people around you as you're rising to the top. This information you don't get anywhere else. Okay, it's my honor and duty to bestow it upon people. So that's what I hope you get from this video. And if you want to learn this deeper and go further down into what's possible, and this is general information here, but if you want to learn it applied to your life, we can do that. Come work with me. Come learn from me personally. I have groups that I do, and I do one-on-one training as well. Depends on what's better for you. Now, if you're they call it a high D person, highly decisive, you are an action taker, you're an A player, that sounds like the person that you are, you might want to do it one-on-one. I don't know. Either way, come get a coaching call with me and my team for free at the moment, and we'll figure out which category you fit into. We're not going to do these calls for very much longer because I have new programs that are starting up, and this is the end of it. We're winding down this program. So the call is free for now. Typically per an hour, I charge anywhere for $300 to $1,000 an hour. So it's really a steal. You're stealing from me to get this, right? There's a link down below for conversation mentoring. We'll put that link there in the description. And also there'll be another link to learn from me in person, face-to-face, on what's called a bootcamp program, where I take you out for 3 days live in field. Bars, lounges, and nightclubs. I tell you what to say over your ear and your shoulder, like the angel and the devil in your shoulder. We go out, we have great interactions. We also have a debrief and a pre-brief session where I give you the instructions for the night, and the debrief is where we break down in detail what happened and we make sense of it. And you can come along to all of that, and it's great. And then at the end of the program, I give you a roadmap on what to do in the future, moving forward for the next 30 and 90 days. 2 different plans. And I also do what's called a strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats for your progress. So that's the whole rundown of it, okay? Lots to learn about it. But yeah, just come and get awareness and analysis of what the challenges that you have in your life and how this stuff can apply to you. Links are down below in the description. All right. And everybody who's watching the video, if you saw something in this that gave you a lot of insight, leave a comment down below. I want to have the comment section be a community here for us, where we're not just like leaving a comment like, that's great. It's like, I want to have a real community here where I can speak to you and know what your thoughts are, and see what you're thinking about the material and what I said, and what you learned from the video and what you disagreed with in the video. All right, if you want to have more information as well, put a playlist up in the 2 corners. And as always, keep in touch and don't be a stranger. Cheers.